So I flipped a course that last year I taught face-to-face called The Social Psychology of Work. And when I taught it face-to-face, it was what I would consider to be a pretty suboptimal experience, both for myself and for the students. There was a technological failure in the classroom where the lecture capture system failed to capture half of the lectures. And the students obviously weren't very pleased at the fact that they were expecting the lectures to be captured, but they weren't. That coupled with the fact that the course that I taught is very visual as well. So even if the lecture capture system is working, when I'm writing things on the board, students aren't able to follow that because the lecture capture system, of course, only captures the audio. So I just decided that in light of those various problems, it made sense to invest time up front in the process of flipping. I structured the lectures starting with an avatar that looks surprisingly like me. I named him Irving, and you can program this avatar by typing what you want him to say, and then he'll repeat whatever you type. So he gives an overview of that particular lecture for the week. Then the clip fades into me, giving another overview and responding to some of the issues that Irving raised. Then it fades into a PowerPoint presentation with my voice behind it. Then it goes back to Irving where he assigns the students sort of online activity for them to do. And then it fades to the second part of the lecture for that week where, again, it's PowerPoint slides with my voice behind it, and then that's the end. So this was replicated, this general formula, avatar, me, PowerPoint, avatar, me, over the course of the 12 weeks. So there were, two outcomes that I think are worth mentioning with respect to the flipped classroom. The first one is that I saw the teaching evaluation scores, the SERF scores, go up quite dramatically. So comparing the SERF scores from this year when I flipped the course to last year when it was face-to-face, there was a very sizable increase in student satisfaction. But I think more importantly is the quality of the assessments that the students were producing went up massively. And I wondered about this when I was reading through the essays that the students gave me this year when I flipped the course, why they were so much better in quality than the previous year. And I think some of it has to do with the fact that the essays essentially ask students to apply the theory that they learned in the class. And that's exactly what they did on a week-to-week basis. Rather than coming in and listening to my lectures at university, when they came into UWA, they were actually applying the theory that they learned online through various activities. So essentially, they'd mastered the art of application of the theory during the whole semester. So when they were asked to deliver a paper, an essay, they were way better at application than students were in the previous semester. I think the best piece of advice I can give is to set your expectations straight. Flipping a class is no easy task, and it is quite time-consuming, but in spite of that, it's absolutely worth it. It's worth your while to invest that time up front to deliver a good set of outcomes for students. Another piece of advice I can give is to make sure that when you schedule your workshops or your seminars, you do that later in the week rather than on a Monday. This will allow students from Monday, when they view the week to actually be beginning, to have time to look at the lecture material online before they actually go into the workshops. Because if you have it on Monday morning, it's very likely that many of them wouldn't have digested the material to the extent that you would expect them to. I have absolutely no regrets having done this. In spite of the time that I put into it, the lectures are together and the course is properly formatted. In many ways, it does run itself. So if you do a good job with it, you might not have to revise it very frequently. It is a huge amount of time, but given the fact that students produce better work under this method and professors enjoy higher teaching scores, I think it's definitely worth the investment